Let me tell you, baby, like I said before the break, we got to watch all of it, savor all of it, enjoy every vote. It's like porn for the angels, and the Lord brought lube.
Yeah.
That's what
That might be my new
and
favorite.
just think about this. Steve Scalise, it would be terrible if Steve Scalise became our Speaker of the House, but it might be worth it just to see all of this public posturing Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing all for nothing. It would be beautiful to see her make a deal with the devil and another devil wins. Either way, welcome. This is the Trump chaos. It's going to go on for 2 more years. All these talking head steppers saying, "Oh, the GOP's descended into chaos." I'm like, where did the descent part come in? Where post Gingrich was there a descent from Quayle to Palin to Trump? Is kind of a flat line, historically speaking. So I love it. Just please, God, give me the confidence of a mediocre white guy who moves furniture into the speaker's office before he's got the votes.
Ron tweets, last 24 hours, Rudy sued for sexual harassment. Male staffer says he was groped by Matt Schlapp. Kilmeade calls the Freedom Caucus insurrectionists. Hannity attacked Boebert. Alley calls Marjorie Taylor Greene a whore. McCarthy fails again. Mace calls Gates a fraud. Loomer called Marjorie Taylor Greene Benedict Arnold. Oh, this is just... Is there enough popcorn in the National Reserve? I do not know.
It almost takes all the fun out of actual train wrecks, doesn't it? I mean... Kevin McCarthy has now lost 11 votes in the same room where he voted to throw out yours. It's just beautiful. McCarthy has caved so many times, there are miners trapped inside of him. It is just, it is so beautiful to watch. Hakeem Jeffries is just popping open a Schlitz. Joe Biden is just going to go windsurfing. They got 2 years to just put their policies into effect. Here's infrastructure. Now it's working. Hey, seniors, here's your lower drug prices. Meanwhile, this is going to be going on. And Kevin McCarthy, I'm sorry, man. It's great watching all the young guns fall. You know, Cantor was sweet. Ryan was beautiful. But this, it's heavenly. I mean, he's like Satan's little plot to make John Boehner look good.
You actually tweeted the only thing more humiliating for Kevin McCarthy than losing the GOP speaker vote is everything that happens if he actually becomes speaker. I mean,
right?
He's negotiated everything away, all his power.
His whole tenure would be just the different caucuses eating him alive in front of cameras and laughing at him. He would be a piñata for his own side. I mean, it's going to take Donald Trump 8 years to lose a popular vote 3 times. And Kevin McCarthy did that on Tuesday. Like, it's honestly, he makes me ashamed that I used to spend all those years cooking meth in Bakersfield, you know?
You said voting against Kevin McCarthy also marks the first time the Freedom Caucus has ever actually enjoyed democracy. I mean,
well, we have to,
the anniversary of January 6th today is just, the insurrection is just continuing, right? This is their goal. Chaos.
Yes, this is it. I mean, when you think about it, Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans blocking him all ironically share the same pre-existing sedition. I mean, they're all evil.
I see what you did
Folks,
there.
enjoy this. We had to go through so many years of the Bernie fans and the Hillary fans having this civil war that hurt the party so much. And God bless Pelosi, who I give the most credit to for bringing this caucus together in 2017, saving health care for America in 2017. And now, I mean, look what we see, this new cadre of Democratic leadership and the GOP just completely turning their dumpster fire into a train wreck.
Well,
and also, we have to figure out this. They're all racist. I mean, they're all. This is the anniversary of them throwing out. You know, it's not just the anniversary of the thugs in MAGA hats trying to end our democracy. Yeah. It's the anniversary of the thugs in cheap suits, like McCarthy and Matt Gaetz, trying to kill our democracy later that night. They're all the same cult of selfishness, and sooner or later, in the era of Trump, they will all turn on each other. Guys, this is just foreplay until Rudy and Trump go after each other. That's when you know we've reached peak karma.
Right.
You retweeted someone who said it was just 3 years ago. It was Liz Cheney's high honor and great privilege to nominate Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House. And you said, proving once again that Liz Cheney will go down in history as having been right about that one thing that one time. That is true. You know. Yeah.
God bless her, folks. But again, my Democratic friends, I know it's really exciting seeing Dick Cheney's daughter doing one thing moral, but she still wants women to go to jail for abortion. She still thinks millionaires have it rough. She still thinks the Iraq war was a swell idea. Liberals, check your appreciation, okay? Yeah. We're glad we can use Liz Cheney when it's good for the party, just like Democrats have to learn to use Donald Trump to kneecap Ron DeSantis, because he's the only guy who's won this week.
Now, I know you've never spoken about homophobic hypocrites, but let's talk about Matt Schlapp. I don't know if this tweet was for him. You said every guy who tells you same-sex attraction is a choice that must be resisted probably has some experience resisting it.
Yeah. That was before, actually.
Yeah, you've tweeted that before.
Yeah. I wasn't in reference to Matt Schlapp, but again, these are the bigots, right? And that's what we've got. And I mean, you got to remember when these bigots get you down, when these scapegoaters, when these xenophobic toads get you depressed, remember that when they're old, the senior care workers who will one day be feeding, dressing, and changing these bigots are probably all going to be immigrants. So just remember, Karp is playing this game too. Schlapp is what Schlapp is and what his wife is. And again, I come back to this again, Steph. The real villain is the U.S. media for never calling out the revoltingly false Christianity of the Republican movement.
Yeah.
Never. The media lets them wear this camouflage. And it's another reason why you can never say the media's liberal, because if they were, they would ask some of these Christians what's actually in the book they wave around like a prop.
Yeah. Lindsey Graham tweeted, "How does this end when Kevin McCarthy secures 213 votes, one more than Hakeem Jeffries? To those Republicans who suggest it's better to have Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker, you must understand that means backing policies like D.C. statehood and Puerto Rican statehood." And you said when your number one and two fears are tax-paying black and brown citizens potentially having representation. I mean, yeah, I keep saying they dispensed with the dog whistles a long time ago, right?
Oh, it's a train whistle, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Greg Abbott on Christmas Eve. I mean, like, none of these alleged Christians care at all about what Jesus talked about between the manger and the cross. They love their manger, and they love their execution. They love ignoring what happened in between. These folks Greg Abbott used as props on Christmas Eve were not illegal aliens. Seeking asylum's not illegal. Their Christianity is a fraud. And none of these fascists realize the symbolism of doing this on Christmas. You idiots. Christianity is supposed to be a sanctuary city.
John, I know we always talk about the failings of the mainstream media, and I get that it was the holidays, but oh my God, should that not have been a bigger story? The Greg Abbott shipped, I mean, I was back east over the holidays. It was 6 degrees where I was. I believe it was 14 degrees in D.C. when he shipped women, children, babies to stand in the cold for a PR stunt. Again, in front of what was Kamala Harris's house.
With no plans for their safety, no plans for their protection, lying about open borders. Guys, we have to shut this down. No politician has called for open borders since Ronald Reagan, who did support it. And again, the Abbott does this for the same reason that DeSantis does it. They do it because it's performative cruelty to brown people for Christian white votes.
Yeah.
That's the racket. The meaner they act, the more the fake Christians like them.
Yeah, the president has said he will go to the border because, of course, that's all Fox News understands is, physical stunts. Like, you have to go there. Yeah. But the president pointed out something important.
Congressional Republicans have refused to consider my comprehensive plan. And they rejected my recent request for an additional $3.5 billion to secure the border and funds for 2,000 new asylum personnel, another asylum officers and personnel, and 100 new immigration judges, so people don't have to wait years to get their claims adjudicated, which they have a right to make a claim legally. And the failure to pass and fund this comprehensive plan has increased the challenges that we're seeing at our southwest border. No one knows this better than the vice president.
Do you feel like what's going on right now in the House, because I think the thing that mostly strikes me is how does anyone vote for these clowns? I mean, do you think it's going to get clearer that they just have no interest in governing? They have no interest in solving any problems. The whole border thing is just a stunt that they want to keep screaming about. They don't want to actually do anything.
No, they can't. They can't do anything about it because if they fix it, they can't run on the problem anymore. That's the problem they're going to have with abortion. It's going to get a lot harder for them to fundraise off of baby killing when the baby killing has been banned in these red states, and they're too busy trying to ignore the enormous pressure on taxpayers because so many poor women are being forced to have babies they can't afford to raise. So you're totally right. Biden's the most relaxed guy in the room. The GOP's doing him a huge favor. The Supreme Court kind of did as well. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah.
But, Biden's just saying, here's your choice. I've got these plans to try to help, or you get the room full of monkeys flinging poo at each other. What's your choice? The problem is, Steph, the voters back home like the monkeys throwing poo at each other. Owning the libs is what conservatism means now. There's no ideology. I mean, what is the ideological difference between Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and Kevin McCarthy? It's not even over principle anymore.
Yeah.
It's just over power.
They just exist. They're just a party about hating other people, just about hating
They are
people.
all
and,
Donald Trump NFT cards loaded up with fake muscles. That's all they are. It's not real. The muscles are fake, and you got scammed. They're all Trump
And we know
NFT.
from Real Muscles here at the Stephanie Miller Show, don't we, Chris?
Sure. Yes.
Hulk
Yes, we
smash.
I can see Chris's muscles before he turns the corner.
John Fugelsang, right here on Sirius XM Progress. Yay, go Team Progress. Love you, John.
Guys, thank you. Happy New Year. It's so good to see you all. I'm going to be playing at the Depot Theater in Garrison, New York in 2 weeks on January 21st, trying out some new stuff. So come on to the Hudson Valley area where Stephanie Miller has classed up the joint so many times. Thank you, guys. Have a great
Thank you, John. Bye.